Thank you. All right. Good morning, everyone. We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order at 8:06. We'll go ahead and do a quick roll call. So we have Gary Skiba, who's excused this morning. So is Christina. And we have Joelle. Here. And we have Adrian.
Here.
And Nicole, myself, I'm here. Paula.
Here.
And Nick.
Here.
Amazing. Do we have anyone who would like to make any changes or approve the agenda for today?
I approve.
And can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you, Paula. All right. Do we have any public comment this morning? Any public comment?
Don't have any public here.
Do we have to do it 3 times here too? Any public comment? All right. Moving on to the minutes. Do we have any changes to the minutes that we want to suggest, or can I get someone to motion for approval for the minutes?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
Thank you. All right, and we're into our liaison reports. Who wants to go first?
I'll just go. I wasn't sure. Okay, goodness. So let me just, I'll just make little notes to myself. Yesterday, the Parks Department put up all of the flower baskets. That's always a big endeavor for them, but I think it really is a good thing for the city and just kind of brightens things up. And so we really appreciate the work that they do in that. They also put the tables and chairs out on the boardwalk a couple of weeks ago. You will see at the beginning of June, I'm in charge of the pole banner program, and the Arts Commission has created some banners that are celebrating the visitors of the World Cup. And they say welcome, and then they say welcome in different languages of the teams and then other countries that tend to visit here quite a bit. And so they're evergreen in the sense that they're not soccer specific, so we can add them to the inventory, and they'll be part of the city collection, and those will go up in early June. Getting ready to start the summer event season with Big Truck Day next month, and then movies and music. And we talk about that as we go on, but it's kicking off. The splash pad crews are working very hard as we speak to get it ready from kind of being dormant to turn it on. There's goals to turn it on for Memorial Day weekend, despite the weather, but we're going to see if that is doable. But I will be doing an event, a small event, but still a celebration with a Partnership for the Y on the last day of school, just kind of turning on the splash pad. And I hope to do that every year, just as a celebration that we've got this great park feature in our community. So we'll be doing that. As far as some businesses that are things, there's a little bit of activity going on here and there, and it's really good to see. Up on the ridge in the former Infusion, there's a new business called, Ashley, is it called the Rec or the Rec Center or the Rec Room? And do you want to just say, I'm putting you on the spot, but can you tell me, because you've seen the permit, I haven't seen the permit yet.
Yeah, they got a tenant improvement permit for a business called the Rec Room. They'll have golf simulators there. They'll also be doing food service, and then they'll have a tap room serving beer as well. And that's in, the old Infusion space.
Just a golf simulator?
Yeah,
Oh.
make sure that it's not just a golf.
I saw their door open this morning and people working in there, so
Yeah,
it's exciting.
there's action going on in there, so that's exciting. And then downtown, we have another recreational opportunity, which is a retro arcade that's kind of going behind the Squamish Brewery. So do you know, Ashley, when they plan to be open?
Yeah, they're doing a soft open the first 2 weeks in July, and then mid-July they'll do a full opening.
What is it, Nicole? It's a what?
It's a retro arcade. So I think
I thought he wasn't doing it.
He
that's
is
awesome.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, different one.
Yeah.
I
We've
love
been
that.
working through Mona and Ashley and the Planning
Cool.
Commission for signage and colors and all that good stuff. And so I think it's going to be nice to have some opportunities for families I think I'm hearing more and more chatter and seeing things. I saw it when I was up in Safeway last night. There was silly string all over the outside of the store.
Oh.
I think that we need to try to activate some things for the teens and for things for kids to do. So
Mhm.
hopefully these things will kind of help things. Yes,
A
Joel.
question about the arcade. So is there going to be food and beverage there? Is it going to be kid centric or is there an alcohol permit going in? Is it
Ashley,
gonna
I
be-
keep turning it over to you.
Yeah, they won't have full food service. They're gonna have a snack bar, and then they're also going to have beers, canned beer, and I think canned wine as well. But they're working with the brewery, so they won't just have the brewery beer, but they're gonna work with them to have their beer and kind of highlight that.
Awesome.
So unless I don't want to repeat myself and talk about things that we've talked about in the past, but is there anything that you ladies can think of that are happening that
Do you want to talk about the volunteer appreciation event?
Oh,
tonight?
okay, that, and then actually I think of one other thing. So we've got, the mini treehouse moved from the house next to the brewery to Railroad, and, the owners of that are working on a new business, and it's called Rivers and Rain. River and Rain, Rain and, River and Rain, River and Rain, coffee shop and used bookstore. And they are working really hard to get open here by summer. So that's happening as well. And then I had another thought. Can we mention the food truck thing or do we
I'll
You-
mention that.
perfect. I won't
That's a
take-
planning thing.
steal your thunder? And then,
Say something.
yeah.
Shut up, Nicole.
And then, yeah, I know it's short notice. It's a long day and it's Maycember for people with little kids, but still open invitation to join us tonight at Meadowbrook Farm at 5:30 for the volunteer recognition event. Plenty of tables and available and food. And so we welcome you there.
Hmm.
So that's my report unless anyone has any
Wait, when's
questions.
Big Truck Day? That's like the most important.
Oh,
Come on now.
Nick,
Jeez.
Noble Plumbing, did you want to have a vehicle there? I'm more than happy to welcome you.
I think my vans are a hazard to children on the inside. They're not clean and full of sharp things and glue.
And glue. Yeah, so I thought I talked about that. I'm sorry if I didn't. So Big Truck Day is Thursday, June 25th. And that event has moved from downtown Centennial up to Community Park for some really good reasons. Main one was safety, traffic control, and parking. It was becoming very, very challenging and very, very difficult. And police, their hair was on fire. They would just look at me like, what are you doing? There's too many people. What a problem, right?
Yes, too exciting.
Yeah. And so it's going to be up at Community Park, which, and then also Paula might have played into this a little bit because the Zamboni, bless their
Oh.
little hearts, drives from King down to Centennial, and it's quite an all-day endeavor. Might even need to be towed. The
They
brakes
can't
are
do it
smoking, the
anymore,
batteries are dying.
I followed it partially last year.
Yeah. And it's
You
such
got
a
stuck?
popular,
'Cause so
Yeah.
did they.
it's a popular element. And so I was like, okay, so if we move it here, then that's nice. The Zamboni can just come across the street. So that's the Big Truck
Cool.
Day.
And then where is the location going to be for the movies and the music, or is that
Yeah,
both happening?
so the
'Cause-
music, we'll have two music. Those are at the bottom of Center Boulevard in the grass amphitheater underneath the tennis courts. And I'm very happy to say, like, I bring really good bands. We've got a cover band, Petty Thief, a Seattle tribute band. This is their second year. That was our most attended concert last night. Last year was that one. And the other one is Nightwave, which is really popular in the Seattle area. It's 80s hits, so they'll be playing. And then this year I was able to just eke out my budget, and I'm going to do 3 movies, and those are up at Jeannie Hansen. And this year we're showing Ratatouille, School of Rock, and Jurassic Park.
Cool.
Fun.
Oh yeah, so and I view you guys as like helpers in the community or ambassadors to kind of like help spread the word. I would say for the quality of the bands that come to this community, I don't think that the community is aware or truly appreciates kind of what, and I don't mean that negatively. I want them to enjoy it. So I was saying to this one of the ladies from Soquami at Ladies Night, I said, I'm bringing Nightwave, and she lost her mind. What? I'm going to see them in a couple weeks. And I go, and I bet you're paying a ticket cover charge, but if you come in July, it's free to you. So I just want to let the community know that these are good things. And I've talked with like Amanda at Saints and Scholars, like these are opportunities for either people to sit outside and hear the music, or they can
Mhm.
get their their dinner on before or after. So it's a good opportunity to kind of make Center Boulevard alive for those couple of nights.
I know we have the little bag stuffers that you dropped off, you know, the counter, what are they? The little. we have
Oh, the
those,
rack
right?
cards?
Yeah,
Mhm.
the rack cards. Did we, I mean, we can help distribute those too. Like I
Okay.
can help distribute them downtown, but did you put them up, I mean, on the ridge merchants too? So
A
we can
little
really get the
bit,
word out.
that's something that the Parks and Events Commission said that they would help me with,
Okay.
is to help distribute those.
I think that's always super helpful
yeah.
because it's a talking point at the register, even if, you know,
Yeah.
people are just kind of looking around.
You triggered another thought, and that is I'm sending off to the printer. I updated the directory in the kiosk on the boardwalk because we've had some movement of stores. So I'm updating that and then using some World Cup marketing grant money that I have as an idea that Kelly gave me. I think you saw it at the city of Ellensburg. So it's like the rack card, instead of it being the hard post card stock, will be just like paper on a notepad,
Mm,
and then the businesses can have it, and then people can just tear it off,
Nice.
and then they can have it, you know, in their pocket, in their
Mhm.
purse to go around town. So
Can I just ask, Adrian, do you see any kind of uptick on concert night?
Oh, for sure.
You do?
Mhm.
Okay,
Mm.
good.
Oh, that's awesome.
thanks, Adrian. I wasn't 100. I thought so, but that's really
Oh,
great
it's
to
good.
know.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, that's enough. Sorry, Mona, I won't talk anymore.
No, that was great. Kelly, will you talk about the merchant meeting that's up on the Ridge in June at some point, maybe after your presentation? Okay, then I'll let you handle that. And then to Nicole's point, we are working on drafting a food truck code, and we'll be bringing that to the Planning Commission on, I believe at their June 15th regular meeting. So if you have any thoughts about the food trucks, and if you like them, if you don't like them, how you want to see them regulated, we'd love to have your input and comments on that.
When is that?
That would be at the Planning Commission meeting on June 15th. And I believe I think you pretty much
What-
covered everything, but I'm going to turn it over to Councilmember Watton. Unless you have, go ahead.
Just a quick question, where would the food trucks be located? What's the?
Well,
plan?
that's what we're trying to determine in rewriting our code. What would be allowed? Where would they be allowed to be located? How would they be regulated? That type of thing. Do we want them regulated? Do we not want them regulated? Like,
I
those
think
are-
absolutely. I mean, I personally don't like food trucks coming. I mean, it's already a struggle enough for the restaurants that we have right now, restaurants and, you know, bakeries, coffee shops, whatnot. So to directly compete with the businesses already here, I do have a little bit of a problem with, unless it's like a super, super busy time where we can't, you know, where we're like, there's lines at every one of our restaurants. That would
Mhm.
be the only time that I would actually entertain wanting food trucks. Personally, that's my personal opinion. Anyone else?
Yeah.
I thought the same thing. I've heard people say food trucks somehow help restaurants. I'm curious, Adrian.
Hmm.
I assume not. I mean, like you invested, I don't even want to know how much money you've invested in your building and all the equipment and overhead to vacate or have a storefront. And then somebody can just plop in for super cheap right in front of your place or. So I'm curious.
Yeah, and
your
I
thoughts.
get the idea of an event though, so I'm not saying that we shouldn't do stuff like that. I think we're super careful with it if it's something that's again, I know that food trucks add to like, oh, it's an event, there's a food truck, there's stuff. So cognizant of that, but I appreciate it for sure. Cause yeah, it is tricky because obviously it's like you know, during the international fair, there's food trucks right across the street. It's like, and they were sold out, and it's like, oh, that was nice. And then you know, we set up some outside burgers and stuff like that. And then, you know, Kelly knows we have food permits and a bunch of stuff even for that, right? So it's just, but anyway, I'm not opposed to it, but it's good to kind of be aware of it for sure.
I recall that you set up something with the most amazing corned beef sliders
Mm.
that I've ever had in my life.
So nice. Yeah.
Also
Um,
know with the special event permit, when that's when they're allowed, I can put conditions in the permit, and I've been trying to do that more, which is to say that an event coordinator can't bring a food truck that has a food of, you know, a restaurant theme or that's in the community. So that we're not dividing and conquering.
Yeah. That's
Sort
gotta
of
be
like
tricky though, right?
compliment.
It can be, but we're trying to do our part at this point in time with the code language that we have.
It would also be interesting to hear Commissioner Skiba's thoughts around this since,
Mhm.
you know, he primarily operates food trucks to serve food
Yeah,
at his
that's true.
brewery,
Yep.
which is also kind of a different animal. So we will bring all these things
Yeah.
forward and hope to have a good lively discussion at our next plan or our mid-June Planning Commission meeting.
Cool. Yeah.
So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Councilmember Watton to give his liaison report.
Thank you much, Director Davis. Good morning. Just a few quick highlights. This last weekend, we just finished the council retreat. It was Thursday night and a good part of Saturday. And the focus of the retreat is the biennial budget. And just for everyone's edification, it's the mayor that needs to come forward with a balanced budget for the council to review and approve. And there's some consideration, and this is something you may want to weigh in on as a group. And I would strongly urge you that if you take any positions, and we have in the past as the Economic Development Commission, whether a new tax levy increase is appropriate for right now. So your words and your guidance would be very, very helpful for the council because ultimately it is up to us to pass it. But before we do that, there's some consideration for looking at a levy sooner than the budget adoption. The next one is from the public safety side of things, where I'm chair. April 1st, we became a sole city to the police department. That means you're seeing more traffic enforcement. And I hope that you appreciate the fact that we have more officers out and about, especially in school zones and on the parkway. And we're also working with Washington State Patrol about covered load enforcement. It's already on the books. We're trying to strengthen that right now, as well as on the council. But your feedback is always appreciated. And then the next item of business is we have a new police chief that has been approved by the council, Scott Miller. He's from Siloam Springs, Arkansas. I'm looking forward to having a chance to meet him. He does have to go through some background checks before that's a final approval on that. And those are the top items, but I'm going to put this challenge back to this body. And that is your words, your direction has a huge impact. And you can either take positions on particular items, and I would do it as a body of 7 that you all concur on, and pass that on to the council and have one of you come and present your priorities or your position papers to the council, because it does have a lot of credence and it helps us with our priorities in making sure that it reflects not only your concerns, but concerns of the community. So
How do we get the timeline? I mean, yeah, tax increase or no tax increase, but for what? All the details, line items, that sort of thing.
So as far as a levy, tax levy, that needs to be decided over the next 6 weeks, whether we put it on the ballot or not.
And how do we how would we come up with a position if what's the details? What's it for?
It's going to be totally up to you. Give us the perspective of business owners and people in the community.
So who's proposing a tax levy but
It's under consideration, was an idea floated.
but for
over
what?
To help fill the gap of
I see.
the city budget.
And how do we see the city budget?
That
Or
was
the
me,
pro-
my question.
Yeah.
The city budget, it's online, so you can see
The
where we're
proposed
at.
one? The
No, that will come much later.
Well, that's where I'm confused. How do we say, yeah, let's all raise taxes, or no, we're not raising taxes? Well,
And what
but
amounts?
for what?
And
Is that not clear?
what's,
Yeah.
and I'm confused.
I would continue to monitor the council and the minutes coming forward through the council, and it would come first through finance and administration committee before the council. So it's really is in the early stages. So it was only the matter of the discussion of the
Okay.
retreat at this point.
So either watch or attend the finance commission meeting is first, and then
right.
follow city council or attend city council.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
And I
Okay.
have absolutely noticed the increased police presence.
Me too.
Great.
And I was thrilled to hear at our last, I don't know if it was the last merchant meeting or the one before. Was it the captain there? I can't remember who was there. And he said that there was going to be more, feet on the ground going into businesses throughout Snoqualmie and just check in, not for intimidation, but for building a sense of community. And I loved that. So I'm looking forward to that increased police presence in our business community. So thank you.
That's great.
I noticed I saw a cop pulling someone over yesterday. Is there a little bit side comment? Is there any plan to like just put some sign, like the flashing signs or speed camera? I know that was being debated, so we're not being. I appreciate the speed tickets for people, but I also appreciate that's pretty punitive if like the people don't even have a flashing light to remind them, like, oh, this is a school zone.
Mhm. Well, keep in mind, first of all, while our enforcement has gone up, typically our officers are only writing tickets about 1/3 of the time. So some of it is just a reminder to be mindful of their speeds. The other question that you asked right now, it's over in finance department, is an RFD request for or RFP request for a proposal, and they're going to go out and uh, get bids on the 6 cameras, and that's 2 per school zone, 1 each direction
Okay.
in 3 of the school zones. What that will do is help free up our officers from having to be in those areas for other areas in the city, including other school zones. So it's primarily it's on the ridge and on near Cascade View, and then the other one would be down here by the high school and Snoqualmie Elementary.
Are those like the type of cameras where they'll, like if you go speed too much, they'll click and then send you a ticket? Is
They'll-
that what we're talking about,
They'll
cameras?
click, but here's the important part. An officer has to review it. It doesn't,
Right.
it's not
Yeah.
like a third party sending the ticket out. It has to be reviewed by an officer here, and then the ticket would be
Okay.
issued.
Last question, is the funding gap partially due to us having a police department now entirely funded by one city instead of 2?
Not exactly. In fact, it helps ease things a bit because we were subsidizing
Oh,
the
interesting.
other city, and a lot of that, the activity was over there. It's just a couple things. One is we've lost some of the businesses in the business park, and with that goes revenue.
Yep.
The second piece is that inflation continues to grow, and the third piece to it is there's a lot more state regulation coming down on the cities that are unfunded mandates. And so we have to kind of figure out, what are the priorities, just like businesses do. What are the priorities and what can we fund? And it's always going to be a challenge, and your input in helping us to prioritize is going to be incredibly important. I think this is a very challenging time as people are seeing gas prices go up, they've seen utility prices go up, and just going to the grocery store is more costly for households. So keep all that in mind. And I know that businesses are facing all those struggles with compressed margins, and it just makes it that much harder. So how does the city become better stewards of what we already have? I think that's the bigger question right now.
Other questions? Thoughts?
Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. Mona?
I just wanted to add really quick, on the heels of that, that the city is looking to fill an economic development coordinator position. That is going before the council next Tuesday night because Monday night's a holiday, so we're bumping the meeting out a day. But hopefully that will help, have somebody come in here and help track vacancies and try to attract new businesses as well as retain our existing businesses. So the mayor's really, pushing this because it is important, our economic development is an important aspect to what our department and our city does. And so to try to capture some of, keep that revenue here in our city and try to figure out what we're missing, what we need. They'll also be overseeing human services and that type of thing. So it's a much needed position to do the things that, like Nicole and I probably aren't getting to all the things, so.
Question, would that person also help with grant writing, or is that
Yes.
additional person?
Yes, that person would also be helping with grant
I
writing.
think
trying to
that is
obtain
essential
grants.
right now. Just looking, I'm, downtown specific with, buildings kind of needing some help and
Yeah.
whatnot, like helping with culture grants, helping
Yes.
get some money to either for the landlords or for the merchants to work with the landlords to help, get some new windows, awnings, roofs, that type of thing.
Yeah, and I do want to remind you all too, like as you are an economic development commission, we have a lot of other planning or commissions like the planning commission and committees. So I would just, encourage you to always kind of keep your eye on the agendas that are coming out weekly. And if you see something that sparks your interest or that you think would be helpful to, share something from an economic development standpoint, I would encourage you to attend those meetings, provide public comment. And if you're seeing something, out there with parks, for example, or the roads, jump into the Parks and Public Works committee meetings. So just remember you have that resource as well. So.
Great, thank you. All right, looks like we will move into our new business and we have Kelly for a chamber presentation.
But I am going to share my little report first because I just want you guys to know some of the things that are other things that are happening. So this past week, we went to a meeting through. So what we have, let me explain this first. We have CLTC, which is Southeast Area Legislative Transportation Coalition, and it is a group that we put together. So there are Black Diamond, Covington, Maple Valley, Issaquah, North Bend, Snoqualmie, and sometimes Renton comes in and also Kent. And so there are mayors, there are also the chambers of directors for all these groups. And it is one of the only reason that SR 18 has even gotten to where it is now because of the group, and it's stayed consistent for over 10 years now. So we actually decided the chamber, I lead that group. And so the chamber, which is us, decided to invite Julie Meredith, who is the secretary of WashDOT, in to come speak to us. And it was one of the greatest meetings. Rob Watton was there. He has been with us 10 years, right? Have you been with the whole 10 years?
Around the issue for 10 years.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. But the group, the safety is our biggest issue right now. So if you don't know this, SR 18 will not have any other construction on it after this round is done. It should be finished by the end of summer for everyone that is dying right now. I know it's killing you guys. But it will be finished, and then they'll go into what's called phase 1. And phase 1 is they're widening from Deep Creek to Tiger Mountain. That's phase 1. Phase 2 is Tiger Mountain to Hobart Road. So the amount of that is an astronomical amount. It's $1.5 billion to do that rest of that. So we have already worked really hard and the CLTC group, and we were able to get past the 666 million for the phase one. On that phase one, they just this past session, or no, 2 sessions ago, they decided for it to go 3 biennials, which is 6 years. So at this meeting, we were asking them to possibly move it up 1 year to 2029. It's possible they might be able to. They didn't say no, right? They didn't say no. But I always get all these names, so you're going to have to excuse me. It was Senator Mullet, and I keep wanting to call him Senator Mullet, but it's Mayor Mullet now. And so it's really hard for me to get all those names figured out in my head. Anyway, he kind of really pushed that because he knows the inside because he was the one that helped create all of that funding mechanism. So what our biggest issue on 18 is safety. So we requested that they do some safety work, and they were open to it. They said they would go back and look and see if there's some ways to do it. The Tiger Mountain that's up there is causing some major issues, and people are turning left up there, and they're only supposed to be turning right. When we had originally done the plan, we were in these groups and they were supposed to only allow it to go right when they got that second, the parking lot that was put up there. And so now we have triple the amount of cars and they're able to turn left. And so we've been hearing near misses left and right.
Oh, it's gnarly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So we've asked them to look into that. And it was such a great meeting. Rob, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, and again, echoing Kelly's concerns, and one of mine is when you come up 90 going eastbound, you have to get all the way to exit 25 before it says, oh, by the way, you can turn left or turn right. And that needs to be pushed back a mile to milepost 24, and I pointed that out. And then right after that, somebody, Cairo 7 did a segment
story.
on that very spot.
Wow.
In changing that sign. We need that sign changed so that it says through traffic or Snoqualmie Ridge, 2nd lane, 1st lane to 18. If we had that ahead of time, it will make it so much safer because it's the people that don't live here that are getting into the wrong lane.
Yeah.
And then when they get up to the exit, then they're switching over. So that's one point. And then the other one is just the headlights. They've lost the little pylons that go on top that help to shield the lights. And so hopefully they will restore those because
we
that's
pushed
another
it.
issue.
And the really cool thing that you guys need to know is that Secretary Meredith has not gone to any other community. So this was our first time that she came to anything. And so it was a pretty big deal that she came and listened to us. And she's actually from Fall City. So that was kind of like a plus for us. So anyway, I just want you to know that we're working on this, and this is part of some of the policy things that we're going to be working on that I will, hopefully you guys will help us more. Because in the past, this body did push SR 18 quite a bit. So just to let you know, and we know SR 18 is the reason why a lot of people are struggling up on the ridge. We know that.
Do you have any
So.
data how many accidents or people have died in whatever number of years?
Yeah, I can send that to you because actually Eastside Fire and Rescue and Puget Sound Fire are all working with us, and they have a great little thing. And I can send that to you so that you can pass out. So this year there's been 3 fatalities, and it continues to be. It used to be called Blood Alley, is what 18 used to be called. Yeah.
How many casino workers have died commuting on that road?
Yeah. There's, I think, 6 total that have. I may be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure there.
Yeah.
That it's 6. It could be 4 to 6. And the one that really pushed that pushed us being able to get even the funding was the mother-daughter combo that passed away. And
When they testified at the state.
oh yeah, so we were able to get the CEO of the casino at the time. It was Brian Decora. He came in and he showed pictures of every one of his people that passed away. And there was not a dry eye in that Senate Transportation Committee. And so that we walked out of there with $22 million. Had we not done that, we wouldn't be prepared now to be able to get to where we're at now. So they're all aware of it. And I will give you guys, I keep giving you guys these numbers, but just so you guys remember them, $45 million worth of freight every single hour goes in between that on 18 to 90. And the other thing that the other key aspect is 80% of not just United States, but the entire world frozen potatoes comes through that corridor. So we are a major, major, major world issue with that. So it's pretty big. So anyway, just wanted to share that. And then the other thing I wanted to share with you is like our number one thing that is happening currently right now is the public health inspectors for our entire valley. So we met with the Director of Environmental Health and Safety regarding the increase in the health inspection write-ups and permitting concerns being reported in our restaurants in our area. We went to this group. We had close to about 8 different people that were in this meeting. The meeting itself was very interesting, but what's happening right now is we have a health inspector that has nicked almost every single restaurant, and for not food quality, they were it's all nicks that has nothing to do with the food quality. And so they grade you from excellent, what is it? Good, excellent, fair.
Anything past like what we got an okay based on cooling in, it's a long story, but it's wild, like 25 points off for, and we're like, okay, well, we'll throw this out. She's like, no, you can totally serve it. It's fine.
Was that with the new inspector or the
No,
previous?
I guess previous.
We're hoping, because yesterday a new one came in town, so we're hoping.
And everything goes over an average of like 2 years. So the first health inspection we had was right after the power went out, and we literally were like just getting stuff turned on, and she shows up. So then we got a good right off the bat, and then it took us a year to get through that, and then she comes and hits us for this one. It was like,
yeah,
I mean, just
it's
wow.
critical. And so I need you guys to be aware of this that's happening to our restaurants, because and they're not just doing the point system, they're creating and causing them to do crazy things that normally they wouldn't do. One of our restaurants has been open for 10 years and never had an issue. It's an older floor because it's a 100-year-old building. They made her go in and do epoxy over it, and it cost her like an unbelievable amount of money on that to do it. And so it's a constant thing. So right now, if you guys don't know, is probably the lowest that most of our restaurants have ever made. So it's about a 1% profit is what they're announcing. So the Washington Hospitality Association just announced that, and I don't want this to cause any problems, and we're seeing it causing major issues with all of our restaurants.
It's one inspector with a bit of a, we've had issues with King County.
Yeah.
With like one inspector from King County Public Health.
Yep.
King County is probably the hardest.
It is.
Now that I'm dealing with like Grays Harbor County, it's like, oh my gosh, they're actually working with us.
Yeah.
Luckily we've, both of our inspections, knock on wood, we got our excellent, but I'm glad based on what you're saying that our inspection happened earlier this year, because we're still, on our toes every day.
Yeah.
Like somebody could come in, which is good. But yeah, I've heard from some of my merchant neighbors that they were getting dinged for just, literally ridiculous things, like water on one sink was too hot.
Yeah.
Just slightly too hot. And they got an okay. Like,
yeah, it's not okay.
That's not okay at
No.
all. Because people do look at those signs.
They do. They
What
do.
are you doing?
So we are going, and we have escalated this through to, so I went all the way to the executive Gurmai Zahili and talked to him. And the day after I talked to him, they were able to get us into a meeting with the director of Environmental Health and Services. With that, we had a huge meeting. We're going to be doing more meetings with that, but it already made a difference. So they actually sent another inspector out yesterday that has not been here. And so he was on the defense, but we were not there, and we told him that we were not there for, to come at them. We just wanted to know what a clear communication looked like and how for us to help to be able to figure this out, because our restaurants were not going to be able to survive being, dinged and having to do crazy things like at a sink that has been grandfathered in for 10 years that cost over $30,000.
I don't
So-
know too much about this yet because it's only our second year in food business, but, and maybe Adrian would know. Do businesses that get a less than excellent have the ability to dispute, or do
3
you have
years.
to wait?
It takes 3 years.
Yeah,
have
it's
to
a
get-
long time.
So if you
yeah,
have an okay, it's going to take you 3 years to get back up to the excellent mark? Is that what you're
probably
saying?
at least a year. So at least a
Wow.
year. Yeah, it's
They only come once
Wow.
a year, sometimes,
yeah.
once to twice a year.
Here, once, I think.
And then it takes an average of 4 times to be, so it takes almost 3 years for them to
That's
get
not,
that.
that's
It's not okay.
No.
It's not okay. And if for a restaurant, there's 25 things that they can be dinged on. On something that does like tea or something like you have 5. And that is very difficult for someone who got dinged. They just changed how they do bobo. How do you say it? Boba tea. So now it is a higher ranking for them to be able to have that tea. So they're trying to make them boil the tea now. So King County just is, they're just giving out tons and tons of citations, and they make you, for instance, we had one here in Snoqualmie that had just put a brand new refrigerator in. That refrigerator went bad. And so just happened to be that the inspector came in when they were changing out the refrigerator. It was the exact same refrigerator, but this inspector made them go back and do a review, and that cost them $900 to put a new plan in place for a brand new, which it doesn't make sense. So it was just it was like a money grabbing.
Why? I mean, is the health department, or what department is?
It's
running?
environmental health and
Environmental
services.
health.
Yeah.
Are they making money?
Yes,
Off of
yes.
worse reviews?
Yeah, but that in their defense, the inspector's not getting paid extra.
No, not
for
the inspector's
doing
not getting
that,
paid, but
right?
this,
But
this
It's just,
county
it's
is.
it's just the rigidity of the person, right? And, we have this when we're, God, you're holding your breath and hoping it's not that inspector that shows up today.
Yeah.
Like, we've had that a lot with King County.
Mhm.
King County is incredibly difficult to work with in terms of like public health, at least.
Yes.
They dictate the plumbing as well.
Yeah.
Their inspectors are incredibly difficult to work with
Huh.
and impossible to get a hold of. It's an antiquated system. It's like horrific.
But yeah. And for a person to go through it, to actually go through the portal is so hard.
They change it constantly.
Yes,
Just like
and-
liquor though.
Right.
too.
And so we've actually requested that too. So in the meantime, Spokane's going through the same issues as Redmond is, and so is Kirkland, as well as us. So what we're doing is we are going to go to legislation and try and change some of the things that are working. So that is our next goal. We're working with Washington Hospitality to try and get a statewide change in how all of this is working. So this will be this year, and that's something that we'll probably ask you guys to be to help with the policy paper as well. So anyway, a lot of work, a lot of meetings. Okay. So I am here to tell you about our Downtown Snoqualmie Activation Survey. So what was really needed, and this is just this one, we are going to go on the Ridge and do this as well. So this will be the one of 2 that we will be doing. So this one is completed. And so Adrian, we will be coming to up on the, so just know that this is.
When is the
brief-
plan for that?
Well, we were hoping June 11th, but we may have to change that. So we'll let everybody know here shortly. We just sent out the emails asking everybody to come on June 11th. So we'll see how that goes. Okay, next one, please. So what this year is all about is hope. So I just put a little thing that says relevance does not happen by accident. It happens when we listen, respond, and are willing to grow with the needs of our community. So I just wanted everybody to remember that. Next one. So this survey, this was the first time that we have ever had this many participants in any survey we've ever done in downtown. So this is something people are ready for. And I just want you to when we go through these, I just want you to see what they're asking for. So you can see that it is a clear picture of exactly what is the merchants are needed. So you can read that. And then next slide. So we had 37 responses from merchants
Out
and
of how many?
probably 40.
Oh, that's great. Okay.
Yeah.
That is good.
So this is pretty good. 71% of them were located in downtown core. And then we asked them a whole bunch of different questions, and 89% of them finally, we've been working on this for years, trying to get them to do a First Friday or Thursday. And everyone said no, but 89% said yes, they finally are, that they would be a First Friday. And then 81% would join in that First Friday if it was fresh and inviting effort. So the whole big picture that you need to know is that merchants want a downtown that is easier to navigate, more comfortable to linger in, and more inviting for both locals and visitors. So these guys want this. Next one. So here's who responded. So you can see that we had 9 that were restaurant food. We had 9 service-based. We had 8 retail, arts, creative, other, and lodging. And Salish did actually answer ours as well. They didn't answer all the questions, but they did answer, which was first time we've ever had them do that. So that was pretty darn good. So you can see that the downtown core, so there were 14%, and I gotta put my glasses on because I can't see. There were the 11% were Falls Avenue, 14% was on 202, and then the downtown core was the majority. And then we also had 1 or 2 people from Better Way that also, and that's another thing that we have to figure out about Better Way because we need to help them as well. So we got to figure out where they belong. Okay.
What's better way?
Do you know where Domino's is?
Like
Oh,
Subway,
yeah.
Yeah, so they're missing. They're totally missing. Like
Yeah.
they don't feel like they fit in either up
Middle
on the ridge.
child.
Yep, that's what
Yeah.
they feel like. And they have absolutely said it very loudly as well.
Kelly,
Mhm.
what's the difference between the downtown core and on 202? Because to me, those are the same.
Out by herpes and stuff.
So, okay, so
Yeah.
anywhere on 202.
Mhm.
Out
And
that way.
does the on 202,
202 or
the downtown, I mean.
Oh, yeah, they do too.
how do you
Yeah. We
separate
had it, the way that we did the question was that they answered where exactly they were. And so this just shows that the 202 were right, so the ones that were right there on the thing were there, 202.
Okay.
Okay, next slide. Okay, here's where it's really important to know. So the survey results show that downtown success depends on creating a place that is easier to navigate, more welcoming, and more connected and more active. So our key priorities were they wanted better wayfinding signage and printed maps, which that's what we did. Nicole is taking care of that, so she is doing the printed maps. And it was very interesting for when they were speaking. One of our biggest issues down there is no Wi-Fi. So that's why they wanted to be able to have the printed maps. They wanted, the other thing that has been really critical down there is restrooms. So there's not enough signage that says where public restrooms are. So that has been a problem. So as you send them over to the
Train
depot. Yeah. And that's the public bathrooms, but it doesn't have anywhere that says that's where the public
There's no
bathrooms are.
signage, yeah.
There's no signage. And so it's one of their bigger problems that they have down there is that they don't have people are always looking for
Like
restrooms.
our top three one of our top three questions.
Yes.
Carousel.
Yeah.
Is where's
Yeah.
the nearest restroom?
Yep. And then you see the public Wi-Fi to improve visitor convenience and connectivity. One of the things that was so important for our Wi-Fi is when our visitors come from out of the country, they cannot use most of them cannot use their telephones, cell phones. So they rely on Wi-Fi to be able to help with translations and just everything on that. And that has, as you know, Joelle, it is almost impossible to use a cell phone down there.
Just can't.
Really?
Yep.
Mhm.
Is it common for a city to provide Wi-Fi for a shopping core or?
So some do, some of them have, depends. And tell me if I'm wrong, Mayor. We are underneath North Bend for Comcast. And Comcast has, unfortunately, I don't know why that is, but they have like, what is it called? They used to call that, the TV station where you could watch all of it. What is that called? Public access or whatever, I think. it's
Oh,
what it's-
they probably have like some FAA.
Yeah, so
FCC
that's because that was
or-
part of the Comcast thing. So in most cities, there is a written agreement and a contract with Comcast. North Bend does not have that, and I don't think Snoqualmie has it with Comcast. You do? Okay, well, Snoqualmie does, but they're not underneath the one that has everything is North Bend. So we have a little issue with that, and they do not have a contract. I know that for a fact. We've gone through that, Rob, right? A million times with them. So anyway, part of it is Comcast would be able to give that funding. And that has not, and we also don't have the correct fiber optics that would help with that as well. So I'm gonna let you explain that later. You need to explain that, not me. Okay. So they feel like Falls Avenue improvements are so critically needed. And we heard it when we were doing this. Almost every single one of the people pushed Falls Avenue. They really wanted to make sure that Falls Avenue was enacted. So they also they said they would like to have more restaurants, retail, and extended evening hours, facade refreshes, historic markers, cleanliness, and beautification. And I will say, out of this, where we're at this point, I want you to know that Downtown Church is a new church that bought a building that is right above with the nail salon and where books and bottles are. They actually on their survey said, we want to help clean up downtown. We want to make sure that it's done correctly. So we were just there. We did a ladies' night. Nicole and I put on a ladies' night 2 weeks ago.
7.
Yes. And it was very well attended. But we got that out of this as well. So people were asking for it. But when we were there, I noticed everything is filthy dirty because it hasn't been cleaned in years. A lot of the trash cans and different things. And that usually is the people that help with that. So what the downtown church is going to do is they're going to bring a group of people from their church. They're also going to work with other churches, and they're going to come clean the whole entire downtown Snoqualmie. And they're very excited about it. And so
when you mean clean, what do you mean the garbage cans?
garbage cans, the sidewalks, they're going to, if possible, I got to make sure that the sidewalks are able to use pressure washing because some of them I didn't think were. So I just want to make sure before we do that, maybe we'll have the parks or the public works to go out and just double check on that.
We probably need to coordinate that with Public
Oh, yeah, we
Works,
are.
though.
We are.
Okay.
We are.
Okay.
This is just a new thing that he just said that this is part of what he was going to do. So they're going to take all the trash. They're going to go clean up trash around the area. And the reason why this is so important is because we are going to have some people from World Cup, and we want our downtown to be fresh and clean and just to look as nice as it possibly can. And so having that part of the survey allowed us to find that group. So I think that was probably one of the best things that came out of that. Okay. So here is the 36 response. Which event concepts would you most support? And so again, you'll see most of them, First Fridays was something that Art Walks, Taste of Downtown Snoqualmie, and they really wanted to extend holiday lighting and decor, which is a really cool thing too. So again, individually, we asked several people when they were in a group, we had them all come and talk. We finally got what everybody wanted. And so we have a couple of naysayers in downtown Snoqualmie that kind of pushed people just for us not to do any of this before. You know who they are.
Oh, yeah, man.
So anyway, which we were able to get that. And then on here, again, it asked if they would do a structured First Friday program. And we didn't just come up with First Friday. So when we were doing the group exercise, that is what was put out there. So they would like First Friday, and then they also want car shows is the other one that was important for them.
I have a question about
Mhm.
First Friday. So when the Arts Commission and put on the
Finally Friday.
Finally Fridays. So why did Finally Fridays switch? I like the Finally Friday. Like it's like, oh, it's the last
Yeah.
Friday of the month versus who was deciding on the first Friday? I mean, not that I'm opposed to
It doesn't have to be First Friday. It was just what they were saying was that as you were there, were just something to
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So it's not necessarily First Friday. It's whatever we can come up with. But it's important to know because we have fought this for years. And the Finally Friday had to stop because we lost
Volunteers.
the volunteers that were putting that on. So Sally Rackets
Yeah.
was the main push for that.
And it was called what? Finally Fridays
Well,
Art and Wine.
It was a
Walk?
partnership between the Arts Commission and the gallery. In order to do alcoholic events, the city can't do that, so you need a nonprofit. And the gallery is just, that they were our volunteers. They were the boots on the ground, and they're tapped and they're senior citizens, and it was a lot of work. And we were having challenges with the group and the people not staying in the stores, not following the rules. And so it was very troublesome
Yes.
with the liquor control board. So there's just a lot of reasons why that's just kind of gone away and will likely not come back. But that's kind of the history of the wine walks. And I will say through the years, it was steadily declining in attendance and the number of events. And it was on the downward trend.
Which alcohol is right now. So there are other options, and that's one of the reasons why we did the ladies' night was because it didn't involve alcohol, and it brought a lot of people into the stores. So some kind of event like that is what we're looking for, not necessarily, anything else. And we also another thing that was brought up in those meetings was they wanted buskers, which I didn't know what buskers was until now. So that is music playing on the street where people can. So we've been requested from Boxley's group, the jazz group. That's also a performance center for young kids that are learning how to play. And they would like to be able to come out and play on the streets. So there is nothing in the about that. So we have to work through that and possibly create because you don't want people just coming out because you'll have the tree man like was in San Francisco that if you walk by would scare you. And you don't want just anybody coming out and doing everything. So there has to be some kind of law that are permitting or something that has to be done. So I don't know how long that takes. Is it a year, 2 years, Mona?
It would be something with some sort of code, or it would be the Arts Commission or a busker policy. There's other cities that have similar policies, but it's just
We could probably
capacity
get a
and time.
policy in
Yeah.
place before that period of time, but we
Now,
just
if there
need
was
to, we need to prioritize it.
Yeah, but if there was like a business that wanted to host an artist outside their store, we could make that work for you. I was just dealing with another business in town, but that's a street use right-of-way permits, $200. I mean, there's things to work through, but it's a goal. It's just
Yeah.
prioritizing our goals.
Yep. So, but that was requested in this meeting as well. So next slide. So here is the exterior improvements. What would make buildings more inviting? One of the respondents had no idea that they wanted a historical marker on their building. And through this, we found that out. Sigillo's would like to have something about the Sunset Theater. And so we had no idea. So anyway, so that gave us an idea to be able to work on that. And so we were able to work with For Culture to, I think we're going to get him a grant to be able to do that. So we're working on that as well. So anyway, you can just see that the key themes were more flowers, planter boxes, seasons, greenery, improved windows and storefront presentations, outdoor retail display, and sidewalk activity, cleaner sidewalks and better sidewalk maintenance, more trash cans to support cleanliness and visitor experience, public art where appropriate and feasible, safer, calmer pedestrian environments near traffic and crossings. So, and the other thing that was very, very critical was the Falls Avenue to redo that. And we have in the past, so in 2006, the city created what was it called? A branding and marketing plan. And it had, I think the next page, let's see. The next, oh, no, okay. Let me go back to this and I'll go back to that in a second. So what prevents people from staying longer? So this was another survey question. And so there was, again, you can read again, you'll see a theme, not enough restaurants and food options to keep visitors downtown. Limited business hours was one of the biggest issues, especially during weekdays and evenings, and not enough retail variety or shopping opportunities, weather, rain, darkness affecting visitor comfort, need for better street lighting and more welcoming evening atmosphere, lack of family-friendly amenities such as play area or activities for children. Visitors often leave because they have other plans and do not know what else to do downtown. So the results show that visitors need more reasons to stay once they arrive. Downtown has strong potential, but longer visits will depend on creating more complete experience with food, shopping, lighting, family amenities, and consistent business activity that encourages people to linger and explore and spend locally. So the signage has always been an issue with downtown. It's one of the biggest ones that we've heard. So again, they kept every time each survey question was the exact same. So you can see here again additional ideas and comments that were part of the summary. So respondents emphasize the need for stronger signage, public Wi-Fi, more events, and intentional activation of Falls Avenue, along with additional public restrooms and more family-friendly amenities near the train station. Several comments also pointed to the need for better lighting, cleaner public spaces, improvements at Sandy Cove, which we're working on, to make downtown feel safer and more inviting. The comments were Sandy Cove has, and I've heard this from quite a few of our visitors as well. There's a lot of homeless people that stay down in Sandy Cove. And that is something that we will need to really work on and try and figure out why that is, to be able to use that or implement that more. So a strong theme was community pride and willingness to help. Respondents encouraged to use of local artists, authentic community created visuals and partnerships, and with organizations willing to support events, cleanup, childcare, concerts, World Cup watch parties, and beautification efforts. So again, the comments show that people want a downtown that is easier to explore, better connected, cleaner, more active, more family friendly. And they want Falls Avenue playing a stronger role in downtown vitality. Next one. The survey confirms our downtown core is ready for activation. And it gives us directions to focus on visitor experience, business participation, and creating a downtown people want to explore, enjoy, and return to. So did we have the picture of is there one more? Did we not, did we take that out? Oh, there it is. Okay. This was done in 2006. So you can see in the fall activation, do you see where I don't have a thing. Do you want to point to it up there, Nicole? Where the circle is? Yep, that's the falls activation. So that's a roundabout that was requested back then. And so there's two roundabouts, one right in front of, yep, that's, and nope, that, you're turned around. So back there, so Buckshot Honey is to your right. Nope, down, that's Carmichael's. Yep, and then Carmichael's is above it. That's Carmichael's. And then across it, so you could see a roundabout there and see all the trees and everything. So it would be a really nice walking thing. And so this would make it where it was a one-way drive. It would
Amazing.
not be two ways, so just one way. And then here, again, there's the one where the new arcade's
One way.
going. Yep, that's where this other roundabout was. And they spent a lot of time on this and a lot of money on this, so we already have it. We
And then
already
what
have it.
happened?
Nothing. That was a sad thing, that
And this
nothing
started
happened on it.
2006
Mhm.
was this study?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think Mona, did you send them the link to that no. So there's quite a few things that we've already done that have just, one of the issues is we change direction, and I want us to really concentrate on this, because having this falls activation could completely change downtown, bring more money in for retail for our city, can make a huge difference. So as you can see there, I can send you the marketing plan that they had created, because it's really, it's still relevant. Even when it was 2006, it's still relevant. So it just kind of got pushed back and pushed back. So anyway, I love this plan, and I really think that if we go back and look at this, and maybe you guys could study it a little bit, that this would be something that you guys could make a mark on, is to help implement this Falls Avenue. Because I think if it came from you, I think it would make a huge impact.
Can you send the details from whatever was done in 2006?
Yes.
Please?
Can you send that? Would you send that to them? Okay.
I've read it, and it's just amazing how it aligns so much with what the priorities that we talked about last meeting.
Yes.
What the downtown merchants came up with. It's the same wants, it's the
Same
same
ones.
needs, but how do we make it happen?
Yeah.
Next question would be, what would be the negative or any kind of quote roadblock to getting the one way on
The one,
Falls Avenue? Would there be any negatives? Is there
so I
how many
asked.
residents, the parking, all of that? Because
I was asked that, and all that they requested with their big trucks, like Snoqualmie Falls Brewery, can get their trucks through. That's all they care about, is making sure, and the dump truck also needs to be able to get through there.
what about residents? Because we have several homes.
We
you know,
have two homes now.
Just two homeowners.
Just two
Do they
homes.
have access to a garage through that? Is there an alley back there?
Parking, I
So
think.
they would be street parking.
There'll be
only
street
for them?
parking. There will be street parking. Those are supposed to be commercial. Many years ago, they stated that whole entire street down there would be commercial. So currently, right now, we have one that's for sale. We have Dory's house, and then we also have one other house that is occupied. The rest of them are supposed to be
But
commercial.
they're still zoned as commercial,
Yeah,
right? Okay.
They are. Right, Mona?
This retail.
Business retail, okay.
Right.
And
And-
once they go from residential to business, they can't go.
They
back.
can't go back.
Correct.
Oh, interesting.
Mhm.
Which is
Good.
awesome. Which
Yeah.
is awesome.
Yeah. So that would be a push. So to be able to possibly do that.
Love it.
You know, Kelly, this is like so closely aligned with what we talked about last month, just all these ideas here.
Yep.
Sandy Cove, Falls Ave. I know we talked a lot about downtown, keeping people in downtown longer. So it's pretty spot on.
Yeah. And the thing is that, again, in 2006, the merchants all said this.
Yes.
And now it's the exact same, and it's all different merchants, but they're saying the exact same thing. So that has to be something that we listen to, and we finally do something that makes a big impact for this area.
I don't think anyone's ever pedestrianized a street and then it has negative
Right.
impacts. It's all people go to U Village. Why? Because it's super pedestrian friendly.
Yeah.
Pike Place Market, it's like an abomination that a car can still drive through there. It makes absolutely zero sense.
Right.
And you have to walk on a skinny sidewalk. Like my kids, I take them to town and we bike down the middle of the road on Falls Ave because the sidewalks are too small.
Yeah.
But it's kind of dangerous because there's like cars backing out and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, what a great place to hang out and spend time in downtown if it was safe to take
Yeah.
kids into downtown and wasn't skinny sidewalks.
That's right. And we love the idea of having like lights up through there, strung up through there, and make that where, you know, you can anytime. If it's raining or anything, there's still going to be lights there. And I think it could make, I can even see that we have dinners out there. We could
Oh, yeah.
have really cool, you know, farm to table dinners and stuff down there.
Music,
Yes.
Yeah, stage or
And
whatever.
we could hide all the dumpsters.
the dumpsters
Yes.
is, yeah.
And that is the other thing, too, is in that plan, it actually, stated that that was the plan, was to make sure that those were all done correctly with the hiding that. And so some of them have tried to do that. I know Sigillo's was starting to build one, but there was nothing with the like requirements that they had. So again, here we are. Again, this is happening again. Here we are, how many years later? 20 years later.
You know, it would be nice if the garbage enclosures, that I know I keep bringing that up too, like on Railroad and Falls Avenue, would have a consistent look. So it wouldn't look, it's already cluttery enough, like to look consistent. So it
Yes.
defines. the
And
space.
we had a plan for that. I don't know where it is. It was many years ago when I first came here. So that was 10 years ago. There was a plan that was in place, and that has changed. I think over where Mike's Kirkland's office is, MK Properties, behind that he has a parking lot that was supposed to be where the garbage was supposed to go to.
Mm.
So that was a plan 10 years ago, but I don't know where it went. So, okay, I think the next one. And the last one. Yep. So the results are clear on this. Downtown has such a strong potential. It is something that could, especially with having, if you can imagine, being open some late nights and the kids are out playing, and, you know, it's just a family friendly area. So that's what we are envisioning, is something that is bring all of our Snoqualmie residents together in one place. So the action items is the chamber and the city, I can't see, are looking for you guys, the Economic Development Commission, to assist with implementation by helping prioritize our projects, identify quick wins, connect partners, explore funding opportunities, and support a short-term downtown action plan. So, and that could be a huge win. And we've already started that. As you can see, we did the ladies' night out from all of this, got rave reviews on that. We also are seeing other things that are popping up, like the maps that she's doing. That is directly from that meeting as well. And I think some of the big wins that we could do potentially is getting Wi-Fi down there. That could be a really big win, and help with tremendous amount of what people are going to be down here this summer. And there are some other things. Can you think of anything else that I'm missing?
So many things. We would take the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Oh, I was just gonna say, I wonder if we can take this and what we talked about last
What's
week
the
and
name?
just,
Thing.
have we made is anything moving in a positive direction? Like what could we possibly do to help, or?
That's what I was thinking too. Like, I'm all for the what, all on board, but then I'm thinking about the how. How can we be most effective in supporting this vision? Because I know these things are not free and you don't just snap your fingers and they happen. And Councilmember Watton was just talking to us about the budget and potential for a levy and things like that. So what can we do to help?
Do you want to?
It would be a
Take that.
letter first, right? From
You wanna
us,
take that?
identify-
Well, yeah, but I want to let you finish. I want to let you finish with the chamber, and then I'm hoping to engage with you a bit more from a city perspective of sort of where do we go from here, which I think what you're asking. So, but maybe we do that after your chamber interaction is done.
Yeah, so the last thing I just want to tell you is that the chamber is totally focused on this. And this has been a priority for us for years. We just did not have enough voices to tell us what was needed. And as you saw, we had 37 responses from the people that are downtown. They are all ready, and they haven't been until this very moment.
That's
Great.
great.
Yep.
Cool. Thanks, Kelly.
Mhm.
That was great.
Okay, you all done?
James, do you want to? Mayor, oh my gosh.
Wait, while they debate, Councilmember Watton, when are you hosting a guys' night out?
Oh, there we go.
That could be great.
Especially-
At
I love
Smoky
it.
Joe's.
I love that.
Okay,
Play some pool.
all right.
Let's do it.
You kind of are neglected as guys. You never see that in media or planned or anything.
Would you go?
If you invited me, I'll go, yeah.
Mayor Mayhew?
Come on.
Yeah, we're doing fine. So the, the reason I gave that sort of funny answer to Director Coughlin is there are so many things that we can do in Snoqualmie. You know, I remember when you first get elected, when I was elected to city council, I don't know, 50 years ago, whenever that was, a while ago. But I went to they do these new elected seminars to try and kind of help you figure out what you're doing. And it was really interesting that a King County council member came and spoke to us kind of like a keynote speaker. And here's the comment that I've remembered ever since. He said, you know, as a council member, you can do almost anything. You just can't do everything. And it's like, yeah. So kind of applying that here, and the reason I bring that up, the number of things we could think about doing are, and all of them are great ideas. We have the capacity to do one or two this year. And so that's kind of what I was kind of pitching towards you at your last meeting is, if you can sort of focus in on what should those one or two things be, then we can take the resources we have at the city, which, as you know, are very limited. Now, I think Councilmember Watton, I wasn't here to hear his comments, but behind what he was saying, if he didn't explicitly say it, is the thing that we're looking at, which is, do we have enough capacity? Are we kind of meeting the service level expectations of our population? And, you know, just let's make sure we are. So anyway, fairly limited resources, but we do have some resources. Enough to do maybe one or two things and really focus. So something like what you just talked about, the Falls Avenue activation, as you can tell, that's a big thing. You yourself started to ask questions. Well, what would that mean to, oh, and by the way, I wanted to mention the big determinant of what you can do with the street there is getting the fire truck in.
Okay.
So, but in any event, we got a whole process to know that and to do that. We just can't do a lot of things. So if you can kind of help guide us and say, we think these are the one or two things that really would make the biggest difference from an economic development viewpoint. And then I know I would like to hear that from you and take your guidance on what kind of the administration focuses on. I guarantee you the city council would like to hear your point of view on that, and that would help sort of them form their own views. But then we can kind of focus the resources in on what are all the questions, not just the ones that you quickly thought of yourself, but all the other questions. And I think Director Davis kind of alluded to some. Do we need code changes? Do we need, what do we need to do to do all of that? We can figure that out for a big project, not 5 in 1 year. So that's what we need from you. Tell us where you think the biggest bang is, and we will dig in. And then I would ask your help as sort of EDC, as sort of ambassadors, if you will, into the community, maybe help us make sure that the whole downtown community is aligned with that, and that the things that they would want us to make sure and think about that we are thinking about, help kind of set the priorities. Here's what's the most important thing as we do this. Here's the second most important thing. For example, you talked about make the dumpsters not visible, and some of those really key things. So if we could kind of work with you, I think, to focus in on what the one or two big things are, and maybe this is it, then I think we can really make some big things happen. So that's what I'm hoping for from you, is clear direction on what you think, your role as commissioners on the Economic Development Commission. What do you as a commission want to say, hey, city administration council, we think this is where you should focus this year?
This year being the key. Yeah.
Yeah, let's get going.
I'd love that.
That helps for sure.
I mean, based on what we talked about last week and this here, just thinking short term, obviously the Falls Ave takes time. One thing that immediately comes to mind, I lived in Capitol Hill area, Central District in Seattle during the pandemic. The quick win of, yeah, you can't do that right away, but they put up the barricades and the one-way signs. That is quick. I don't want to say easy. There's probably considerations. Maybe you take parking away from one side. I don't know what it is, or you just turn it into a one-way street to calm traffic back there. I don't know exactly what it is, but I feel like there's a quick win in there somewhere with like how the cities reacted during the pandemic and making, are you guys familiar with the Safe Streets stuff in the city? Yeah. They put up those barricades, right? Fire trucks can get in. You don't have to redesign the streets or anything like that. I feel like that's a quick win if you wanted to do something on Falls Ave.
Mm-hmm.
And what about lighting?
Maybe you.
Lighting.
Yes, tell us all of that. These are the important points. Lighting is important, et cetera. Tell us that stuff now. I said, let's get going now. Let's get going this year. Maybe what we end up sort of talking about is this big, and this year we can get this far.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get this far. And then let's have the plan for how we get the rest of the way. So, but it starts with defining what we want, getting clear about that, and then figuring out, all right, what are the things to get there and how much can we do? Let's get going. And the longer things, fine. And the quicker things, maybe even interim things, like you just suggested.
Right, because we want to be respectful of what the capacity is of the city too.
Right.
And like, I don't know what it would take in order to get Comcast or fiber optics up to date down here to get Wi-Fi going, but that could maybe be a goal because that
That'd
was
be
brought
like-
up.
Yeah, would it be like a 1-year plan? Would it be?
Yeah, what does that
anything?
take? I just don't know what that would take. So I don't want to, put too much out there and put too many expectations that can't be met, because I want to make sure that, we're asking is reasonable.
Yeah, so I will say doing Wi-Fi, okay, so because you kind of talked about two things, some of them are harder. Better cell service downtown, that's going to take a little longer and that's harder. I think it's really important, but it would really help if you guys, said this is really important. Wi-Fi is quicker. But when those are smaller projects, then Falls Avenue activation. So you can give us a couple small ones, maybe a big one, and then we'll sort of run out of capacity. But you know what? You can, having a list and saying, actually, here's a list, but here's the one or two we'd really love to see, happen first. That would then guide us.
Yeah, or if we could work together on, here's our list of things we think are really important, and then you guys as a city could go through and say, hey, here are the things that are most feasible, and then we could kind of work together on that. That'd be great.
Wish I had the staff to do that. It's going to need to be the other way. Well, I just don't have the staff to evaluate a whole set of proposals. So what we need from you is, these are the important ones. Then we apply the staff there and figure out how to do that for you.
Mona.
I
can
wish
ask
I
a
could get
question
that
to
a
Mona?
better answer.
Oh, sorry. So at the end of last meeting, we narrowed it down to 4. Do we have that list still?
Yes. And do you want me to just refresh everybody's memory to that?
Yes, that'd be great.
One of them was Activate Falls with lighting. And then the dumpsters on Falls needed to be addressed and be put in, an enclosure or something. The other one was the train graveyard at the bottom of the Parkway and Railroad. And then the gravel lot on that Parkway and Railroad, trying to activate that. So that's what I had.
Yeah. So at a high level, we want a beautiful, vibrant, pedestrian-friendly downtown where people want to come and stay and linger. Long-term vision, right? And then if you narrowed it down, what can the city do this year? We said maybe engage the train folks. I mean, that's part of the longer term plan. They're not going to take the trains out this summer. What was the next thing on there, Mona?
Avenue.
Activation of falls and the dumpsters.
And there's plenty of ways maybe to do that. One way, whatever it is, lights, one way street. Looking into doing something with the dumpsters. Maybe that doesn't happen this year, but we start looking into it. And I'm sure the people at the city are smart and know how to look at that list and prioritize and figure out what's reasonable and not reasonable. What else was on there?
So if you look at the minutes that were prepared in
Oh.
your packet, there, it's all listed in that bottom paragraph.
So now that we see the survey, some of that has changed a bit, like Wi-Fi is pretty high on the list. So just to,
I'm curious on Wi-Fi. Is there an ROI on having Wi-Fi downtown for a city's like economic vibrance? That has never crossed my mind to like connect to a public Wi-Fi whenever I go anywhere.
well, it normally isn't, but because downtown has no cell service.
I have never not had self-service. So like I'm skeptical.
Oh, Joelle, tell them what
Bad.
happened. Yeah.
It's really bad. And actually, I think that should be a top priority. My opinion would be that would be a top priority. Last year, Kelly came, I think it was last year, the chamber came out with an app even that we were trying to promote, and everyone has it on their, storefronts, restaurants. It's irrelevant if people don't have
Can't
cell
get it.
service to get it, to see what restaurants are open and who's open late and whatnot. Because that is, like I said, the number one question usually is, where's the nearest public restroom? Number two is probably who's open, where do we go eat? So if because their phones aren't working, we hear it every single day.
Mhm.
So I think that is a top priority. I would also say that you even get started on falls activation and whatever that looks like. Creating the one-way street, getting lighting, beautification, which would include, getting the dumpsters enclosed. Work with our community partners with that. Like Kelly was mentioning, the church that was really wanting to help do some cleanup, like clean up the garbage cans, which I know merchants and restaurants do routinely on their own downtown, because the parks does not have the capacity to be, scrubbing the garbage cans. So we're taking care of that. If we could have help with that, that'd be awesome. So I think, work with the our community partners, downtown merchants and other volunteer groups to help with the start on this fall's activation, and also beautification of the downtown, historic downtown core overall, meaning, I would like to see on Railroad Avenue, have it continue all the way around, would be seasonal installations of just large planter boxes, whatever that would look like on a seasonal rotation. So it wouldn't have to be huge, but the watering would also have to come into play with that too. I know we have the planters that just got installed yesterday and they look beautiful, but that would be an additional, resource that would be needed is, consider water. Those are my ideas.
Do we need to do something formal in terms of what we need to get to the council? I mean, I feel like we talk about it a lot, but maybe the council's waiting for something more formal?
Yeah.
It would be helpful to have a list of something in writing on behalf of the EDC. Yes.
Mayor Mayhew?
Yeah, so you don't need a letter, just a list that you settle on. Sounds like you're close to having that list. If you could just settle on a list and say, and staff can produce the list for you and say, is this your list? And you get it. And then just say, this is our list. I think that would be really helpful.
And
Maybe
then-
where I'm stuck just a little bit is I don't want to put something on the list that's not feasible. So I want you to tell us like, hey, these are the things that are feasible.
It's a deal.
Okay. Councilmember Watton?
I don't want to filter out what you see as your top needs. I would go through, and we've done this before on the EDC, your top 10, and you figure out what's your top 1, 2, 3. Leave it up to the city to figure out which ones they can actually implement.
So that it's still
because
captured.
it may be that number 1's going to be a long range thing, but
Mhm.
it's good to know that that's a top priority for this body. And then the city can figure out, maybe it's number 3 and number 4. By the way, number 11 on that list was SR 18. So we promoted it. And today it's a reality. So
Mhm.
again, back to what Ms. Games said is that, you know, what you do as a body has a huge impact, not only on the city, but the chamber came alongside on some of those priorities as well. So it sends a signal out to everyone, these are the things that are most important. And so while you come together as this, you know, body and great knowledge, if we can capture it on paper, that will help move things along. even
Can
faster.
do.
So is there a way, is it okay if I write if they send me their questions and I can send it back as a survey to the commissioners and let them decide and then because I'm really good at surveys.
I'll put it together, right?
Yeah.
Do you want me to put it together and I'll email the other members?
Great.
And
Yeah, that'd be great if you do that. Not, I appreciate the offer, but let's not filter it through some other organization. I think the point that Councilmember Watt, and I would just reiterate the point of we, the council, the administration, we're looking for your thoughts, your advice, your prioritization, and we don't want to filter it. We want to hear from you. That coming back to you afterwards, here's timelines, here's feasibility. We don't want to filter out what you would tell us are the priorities. That's a later discussion.
So Mayor Mayhew, is this something that we can decide as a group right now so we don't have to wait another month? Or is this something that needs to be identified by all 7 commissioners at one time? Because now we're going into summer, now we're not going to have everyone. I would like to get started and do what I can do, what we can do right now. Is that something that we could decide in the next 15 minutes? Because it seems like we went over this last 3 months.
Mary Hugh.
Yes. Yes, you can, and yes, please.
we can sign
Thank
up the
you.
people that are present and,
Good.
you know,
Let's just do it.
Let's do it.
And Mona has some thoughts.
Well, I was just going to say, you know, you're missing 3 of your commissioners today. 2 of which, or I think all 3 of them were in the last meeting. I would suggest that you work amongst yourselves and provide something in writing to me for inclusion in the next packet, for the June packet.
That sounds good. Mayor Mayhew.
Yeah. Or we can take that and we can even circulate it sooner. So we can do that as well. So we can keep the ball rolling, which I sense urgency, which I love and want to support. So
The sense of urgency.
yeah, so we can help circulate that and kind of maybe by email, you can kind of weigh in to make sure the list is you know, includes you know,
I'd like to walk out of here though with a pretty rough
Yeah.
final draft.
yeah,
agree.
that'd be great. So we'll facilitate that.
And I would
Love it.
agree that we need to circulate it to the members who are missing
Mhm.
sooner, get it done so that
Yeah, I'll give them.
by our next meeting, we're already in it.
This has been in front of you for 2 or 3 weeks at that
Yeah.
So
point.
let's create that list today and then I will compile it and send it out to all the commissioners for consensus.
With
Thank
the
you,
last,
Mona.
maybe a few minutes before we do this, I just clarifying question. The city owns the gravel lot there, and is there, whatever happened with the train thing, Nicole or Mayor?
Which lot are you referring to? The one on King Street?
Bottom of Railroad.
The one with the big parking lot, off Sandy
Yes.
Cove.
Yes, the city does own that and nothing is currently moving forward on that lot.
Okay,
For purposes of the agenda, I just want to note that we've moved into old business for discussion on wrapping up our priorities.
Correct.
Very naturally, we did that, but we're there.
Correct.
okay.
All right, Nick has a sheet up. Are you taking our priorities down?
Yeah, do we need to go into a closed session? Brett, I'm just kidding.
No.
That was sarcasm. That's all never
Executive session.
reflected to anything.
I would put down lighting on falls.
Oh wait, so the Snoqualmie Economic Development Commission came together on May 20th to finalize prioritized work for the city of Snoqualmie, to finalize recommendation
List of priorities.
stations for prioritized work for the city. Okay. Vision, I just wanted to start with like a vision, like why are we doing this? Because we're the economic, and like I want to just acknowledge we're focusing on downtown right now and not the Ridge. For this,
Downtown Snoqualmie activation.
create a vibrant and activated
Yes, what did she say here?
activated downtown for citizens and visitors alike.
Mhm.
That,
To support both the visitor experience and the long-term vitality of downtown.
oh, wait, say that again. Supports.
To support both the visitor experience and the long-term vitality of downtown.
experience, Local, I'm gonna say local resident experience.
Mayor Mayhew.
We can pull this off the recording, you know, so if you just get the list, we'll put the words, whatever words you say, we'll capture them and put them onto the document. But if you can give us the list, I think is the,
Okay.
Prioritized
Powerful
list.
part.
Is there any subcategories to the prioritized list? How about if I say Falls Ave? Falls Ave,
Yeah.
Begin, or
And-
maybe begin activation
activation.
of Falls Avenue.
Through,
And then
then you'd
with the
have
bullet point. that
All right,
they-
give me some
lighting.
bullets. One way,
lighting,
one way,
Yep, lighting,
light in,
dumpsters,
bike.
beautification,
street
pedestrian friendly.
Friendly, wait, dumpster,
enclosed dumpsters,
enclosed dumpsters.
beautification, i.e. seasonal installations of planter boxes like fall pumpkins,
See-
tulips.
Yes. Seasonal plantings.
And,
Are the hanging baskets on Falls Ave as well or just Railroad? Oh, they are.
One-way street,
Okay.
short term
Mhm.
and not, I'll say short-term pilot for the one-way street.
Seating,
Seating, yeah.
seating and extra, plants, trees, something like that.
Public restroom signage.
Yes.
We don't have any.
Well,
I don't think that's a short-term thing that they're gonna be able to do this year.
That
It's like
wouldn't
a
be under-
capital improvement.
well,
would
signage. Put it on the list.
No, she just said
Oh.
signage.
Oh,
Yeah,
signage.
signage for public restrooms.
Because
That tells
the
them to
train
go.
station does
Yeah.
have.
Oh,
public-
Yeah.
signage. I think signage pointing bathrooms. I'm gonna say bathrooms. Riverwalk, both directions.
How about?
Playground down the street.
How about signage directing people to the kiosk that Nicole's, updating constantly, because without Wi-Fi, somebody can actually look at,
Visitor information
They-
signage.
sign because
Yeah.
they can't use their phone.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And what did you call that?
Direction to the kiosk. Would you call it a kiosk, Nicole, or? Okay,
Good term.
the kiosk of business directory
Yeah.
or business directory kiosk, something like that.
Downtown. Zoomed
I think
out.
that's pretty good for the
Did we miss anything?
Falls
Re-
Ave.
Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi.
Well, Wi-Fi
I'll say
isn't just
One
the
category.
Falls Ave,
This is
Wi-Fi is
for
the
the whole
whole
downtown.
downtown.
I'm gonna say downtown zoomed out, re-gravel the parking lot. I don't know. Make it look nicer somehow. But that's not like a number one. This is like in no particular order.
I don't think so. When would be construction or groundbreaking on the,
She said, the mayor said no plans
no plans? Okay.
on that lot. So I think that's
2 years.
kind of dead in its tracks. So it's like doing something with that lot.
Yeah.
Downtown zoomed out, Sandy Cove Park improvements,
Public
play
safety.
toys, public safety. It's like, how do you make people enjoy the park? Pavilion or picnic tables.
I think going back up to Falls Avenue, adding under Falls Avenue and not Sandy Cove would be, along with the beautification and whatnot, that would be to have like, what's that game where you have like a couple giant games, like they have like at
Oh,
E
you get, like,
Village or something,
big
like a
chessboard, what do you-
giant.
Jenga or
picnic
whatever.
toe that people can move, or like
Connect.
cornhole. Like I can see what this whole street looks like.
Hmm.
Like
Maybe so cool.
bike, I'm gonna say for downtown zoom out, engage bike rental company, engage the train folks for cleaning up their stuff. What else for downtown? Oh, Wi-Fi,
Mhm.
Wi-Fi.
Well, better, yeah.
What else do we have on here?
Uh,
Graveyard. Love that something. Improved lighting.
I mean, I guess some of the signage could direct people to the app, those that do have, because it is a great tool if you can get cell service. So it's kind
Okay,
of
I'll put
frustrating
app on there.
showing customers and they can't do.
I know.
Okay.
Here, let me go back to this.
Oh, I'll put continued expansion and improvement of Riverwalk Trail. Riverwalk Trail. Okay, I have Falls Ave activation, one-way street, lighting, bike pedestrian friendly, enclosed dumpsters, seasonal plant-ins, seed-in, signage, includes the kiosk. Is that in any particular order, or is that just like, here's the list and,
Here's the list.
yeah, good luck?
Well, you've got Falls Avenue as one priority. You have the Wi-Fi cell service as another priority.
Yeah, I think that's in order. The little
Then
minor
there's all the,
things don't have to be in order, but if falls activation is what we would think is one of, if not the number one,
Sure.
and then the greater.
Oh, I see what
down
you're saying.
floor would be
Okay.
number two.
Priority number 2, I have downtown zoomed out, but maybe I shouldn't. I should be priority number 2. Then what would you want priority number 2 to be?
I think the Wi-Fi and cell, whatever.
yeah, that would be Wi-Fi cell service.
Okay. Priority number 3.
Okay,
Sandy Cove Park and
none of this
River-
is on anything that we talked about though. So Sandy
Yeah.
Cove is not anything we discussed in over the last couple months, or that's on this.
But the gravel lot was, and the train
The gravel lot.
graveyard was.
Right. The gravel lot has like, you know, especially after it rains heavy and whatnot, it's real muddy. Just maybe get some gravel in there to put that down. Like we-
I'll say improve and beautify the gravel lot. I guess, I don't know.
And then
You
we
don't
al-
think-
we also talked about improved lighting on Railroad Avenue, not just Falls, because it is very dark,
Just in general.
especially going into the fall. I don't know what improved lighting would mean on Railroad Avenue, but it's dark, really dark.
Okay.
We discussed that last month.
Engage train folks, priority number 4.
Maybe my idea would be to continue on this the downtown core, which is what we're talking about, is, you know, working with, well, especially if we get an economic development, like extra person or somebody to help with grants and whatnot, to help our businesses with, you know, what the requests were, the facade refreshes, historic markers. And then they're even saying, you know, cleanliness, beautification. So these are all kind of, they can kind of mingle with other priorities. There's kind of the same thing.
I feel like we're mostly pretty well aligned with what the survey
Yeah.
brought up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was public Wi-Fi, cleanliness and beautification efforts, the
Mhm.
Sandy Cove improvements.
Was there anything we talked about the facade refreshes? Because we had talked about like working with, you know, nonprofits, For Culture being one of them. There's more than just that, because not every business, I don't think every business would qualify for that. Do you have to be on the historic register in order to get funding for? Okay, you do. Okay. So how would the other businesses that don't, this is kind of side railing, but how would the other businesses that don't qualify for that? Like say, the newer ones, like Carousel being one of them, you know, get work done for like windows or.
Yours is a historical,
It's not.
it's not, but it
Mhm.
could be.
Yeah, how
I
do
don't know
we-
if you
Because there
want it
was
to be.
too many improvements made during the 60s to qualify.
I'll look into it for you.
Okay.
Okay. We go to 10, right? Yes.
Well, yeah.
So I have priority number 1, Falls Ave activation with a bunch of sub bullets, just kind of
Mhm.
thrown in there. Priority number 2, Wi-Fi and cell service. Priority number 3, improve and beautify the gravel lot. Priority number 4, engage the train folks for cleaning up for potential.
Just real quick, could you clarify which gravel lot you're speaking of?
Oh, yeah.
The one on King Street or the one at the bottom of the Snoqualmie Parkway and Railroad?
Oh, not that one. The
No,
one on
the
King Street.
King Street.
So it's King
The
and,
one that borders Sandy Cove. Improve the gravel lot
King and Railroad.
at King and
Mayhew?
Railroad.
Yeah, the city does not own that lot. That's
Oh,
sold. Yeah, we don't,
that's
we
what I
don't
was
own that
referring
lot.
to.
but they, oh, you don't know.
You'll
they-
own it.
no, we don't.
Of it.
Is it, was, Is that the train museum lot?
Yes.
Yes.
Is that kind
Who owns
Figuring
that
out.
now?
It's, I.
of privately owned?
It's privately owned. The
okay.
city doesn't
So-
own it.
Yeah, I took it off.
So,
Okay.
yeah, sorry, I
Well,
misunderstood.
that's
I
okay.
thought you were
So
talking.
They just let people park in there.
They do. They do. That's just a long-term thing, but their intention is to build something there, which would,
Okay.
cause that use to
The train
change.
museum, is that kind of?
Sorry, I didn't know that the city didn't own it any longer.
Okay, I'll
Thank
take that one off.
The priority to Wi-Fi.
If we could border it.
Did we put the
Rampart.
lighting on Railroad Avenue? So that would be.
Yes.
That's
Oh,
fall
no, wait,
though.
okay. I'll just
Like,
do
wait.
improved, I'll just take it off and do improved lighting everywhere.
Yeah, that would probably then be number two.
Well, yeah, because you're saying
Higher up, yeah.
Falls Avenue.
What's the number one priority? Falls Avenue activation?
Mhm.
Wi-Fi and cell phone service are number 2.
I'd probably put lighting number two.
Lighting.
Lighting number 2.
Lighting on
Improve.
both,
Plan.
improve lighting on both railroads and Falls Avenue, possibly, unless,
When if you don't-
In downtown. I'll say in downtown.
So you need
Okay.
Wi-Fi, so.
Okay.
do we add increased public seating, which was a request from the survey? Would that be, that would be probably under the Falls Avenue
I think we
category?
had that under Falls.
Yeah, Nicole's.
Because Nicole has it on Railroad
I mean,
right now,
They have it all over the boardwalk.
but not on Falls. We could maybe add that to the
I
Falls.
think it's under.
Yeah, I put it there.
in-
I put it
Oh,
in.
you did.
Did I?
Seating,
you
there you go.
did. Yeah. I think that's a good list.
All right, I put signed our names. You want me to send it to the others?
Or Mayor Mayhew, Mona, did you want to send it out to the rest or did you want us to do that? Go ahead.
You
Mm.
can-
You can, or we can do it
Oh,
for you.
good, I don't
That's
even have your
fine.
email.
But you don't need to sign it, that you just,
give-
and you just want to be careful about asking people to vote when you're not in a meeting. So it's more just, do they, you just want to ask, do they have any comments regarding this or not? That way you capture their response without inadvertently asking for voting.
Yeah, we're just getting feedback at this point.
And Mona,
But to be clear, we're going to take this list as your list and we are going to proceed.
thank you. Mona, I do have a question. So just as far as following rules though, it probably should go out through you because it should only go out through city email to other city, not personal emails. Is that?
No, but we
Yeah,
have,
so I'm happy to, if you want to send it to me, then I can forward it to the
Properly.
entire EDC.
Mona, you're amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Echo, no. Cool.
All right, Nick is going to send that list to Mona, who will send it to the rest of the EDC for feedback. Then the city will proceed with that list. Is there any other thoughts or comments on today's meeting before we adjourn?
I like that we actually did something.
Paula feels
Fun.
great that we did something.
Yay for actually getting started on
Yeah.
getting some work done.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Meeting adjourned at 9:53.
Thank you.